Another topic I know you've addressed, Locked On Browns podcast. Wide receiver. Do you look at that and think they're going to add somebody?
Yeah, I know you guys had Scott on earlier in the show. I'm not sure if you asked him about this specifically, but I actually had him on the podcast last week, and he kind of helped spurn that topic a little bit because he mentioned that he thinks there's something that they're still going to do there. And I believe similarly as Scott that they have to make a move there. I think Andrew Berry. I was actually the one who asked him the question after the draft of, hey, is wide receiver still a position that you would say is a work in progress at this point, especially given that they didn't address it during the draft, and I think many of us thought they would. For a while, it looked like they were with the first pick they had because we all thought they were taking Travis Hunter, and then that obviously didn't end up coming to fruition. But yeah, like I think you have to add something to that room, something else. Like more competition is never a bad thing. I don't know what it looks like. My initial feeling is that maybe we get into training camp and the Browns, Andrew Berry gets aggressive and he starts sort of, putting some feelers out there. And then he swings a deal for, I'm not saying he's going to bring back some top name wide receiver necessarily, but like when they made a trade for Elijah Moore a couple years ago, I know that was a different time of year. That was like during free agency, but it feels like maybe something like that could be in the cards where they flip a couple draft picks or something for a name of a guy that's trying to kind of find a new role for himself or just could use a change of scenery, and they add some competition to that room. I know they feel very. I know that this organization thinks very highly of Cedric Tillman. I know they think he's ready to take that next leap. I think there's some reason to believe that, but at the same time, if your room right now is just Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, and then Deontay Johnson, who knows if he's even going to make the roster, just given how some of his off the field stuff has gone in recent years, and then just a bunch of late round picks of Andrew Berry that haven't really turned into anything. I don't know if you should feel comfortable with that, even if they're going back to Stefanski's offense, which is very 12 personnel heavy and all that. I still think wide receiver is something that they know they need, and I think they'll find a way to address it here leading up to the regular season.
Yeah, and to your point about that, most of Jerry Jeudy's production came with Jameis Winston at quarterback. So that's another thing that just kind of scares me about that wide receiving room.